welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake.
Chris.
And Ames.
And we're here today with episode 95, wherein we are going to discuss 2 episodes of TNG. Are you terrified? Are you afraid, child?
That was last week.
Do you need to be returned to your weird adopted daddy?
Yes.
Creepy. Anyway.
Also, I want an ice cream split. A banana split.
It wasn't even a banana split. There was no banana, and it looked like they had those pirouette things stuffed in it, and also, who the fuck blew ice cream? Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, that is neither here nor there.
It's true.
In fact, it is there, and there is behind us, and we are moving forward. Episode 95, where we're talking about Legacy and Reunion, and Ames has noted that Legacy is episode 80, which means we have officially surpassed TOS in length with TNG.
Correct, and that's why it's called Legacy.
Is that
Oh, no shit.
That is one of the reasons why it's called Legacy.
Oh, no shit. High five, Ames. Perfect. I didn't even know I was giving you the perfect segue. I'm delighted. We're going to do this really quick because both of these episodes are pretty damn simple. So, the Enterprise crew are visiting Heretofore, which is where Tasha Yar is from, and they basically get tricked by people in one of the planet's cadres, member of whom... Cadres. One of the padres in the cadre is Ishara Yar, which is Tasha Yar's little sister, who thinks Tasha Yar's a total bitch for running away from the rape gangs. I mean, really, with this kind of awesome lifestyle, who would ever fucking leave? Ishara Yar basically is a manipulative bitch face who uses Data's feelings for her sister to get on the good side of the folks on the Enterprise. She tricks them into removing her, I don't know...
proximity sensor.
Yeah, and that thing would blow up if she got near a force field thing, right? How does it blow up?
It only blows up if you try to remove it.
Oh, then
it's just
what the
each
fuck does
side
it do?
has it, so the others...
It starts beeping.
Oh, it's like a red dot showing enemies on the map in a video game.
Yeah, they kind of... That way each one knows the other is near, so that neither side can ever really truly attack the other in force.
Whose power is that? Widowmakers? And see where all the
yes, that is
critters are behind
Widowmakers.
walls?
Yes. They remove the proximity thing that'll blow up if you try to remove it, and she's like, fuck yeah, suckers, now I'm gonna run in and disarm their defenses. Gotcha! And they're like, nah, and they knock her out and take her on board, and she's all like, oh, Data, I wasn't always lying, and he was like, whatever, bitch. The end.
I'm over you.
Shitty episode.
You're no Tasha.
I didn't like it. I was just bored. I found it boring. Then in Reunion, man, it's a Worfy kind of day. The Enterprise is hailed by a Klingon ship. On that Klingon ship is the King of Klingons. Which I can't remember his name.
Kempek.
Thank you, Kempek. And he's like, yo, Picard, I need to see you. And Picard's like, all right. And he goes on the ship, and Kempek's like, yo, I'm dying. And the 2 people who are like first in line for Succession. God damn it. Succession, not
Remember,
secession.
it includes suck.
The 2 people who are in line for succession.
Success.
Stop it. One of them has been poisoning Kempek.
But which one was it?
Well, it could have been Gowron, who I've never heard of, or perhaps it was Duras, infamous son of a traitor who dumped his father's dishonor on Worf's plate like a little bitch. Picard is named Arbiter of Succession by the dying Kempek, and he's all like, I don't care if you want to do it or not, because I've already told the Klingon Empire you're going to do it, and if you don't do it, you're going to look like a bitch, and it's going to mean bad things for the Federation. And Picard's all like, ugh,
7 years bad luck.
Ugh, fine. Yes. Same as breaking a mirror. So, also, Kellar is back, and turns out, last time she and Worf got together, he put a little bun in the oven named Alexander. Yeah, so Worf's a daddy. Didn't know about it. Unpleasant surprise. And Kalar has changed her tune. She's all like, we should do the bonding thing. We should take the oath. And he's like, no, you should not bear my dishonor. The boy might want to be a Klingon someday for real. And she's like, whatever, you're stupid. And he's like, yes. I don't know. Basically, there's a lot of back and forth. Somebody plants a bomb. Duras, actually, right? Plants the bomb to make it look like it was Gowron. And turns out he's the dirty mother pheasant plucker who poisoned Kempek. Just to double down on douchebaggery, he then kills Kalar Because she was the one who helped Picard and Worf, I almost called him Wolf, and Worf figure out who done it.
And she was looking too much into that Kittimer massacre.
Mm-hmm. So, Worf kills the shit out of him. And I guess Succession issue over, because that's Gowron. Gowron takes the win.
Wins by default.
Gowron takes the win.
Default.
And Worf is given a written warning, I guess, for murdering someone on board the Enterprise.
No, he murdered him on the other ship.
Oh, well, still.
But still, he murdered...
He killed the man and was given a wrist slap.
Not just any man either. Like, it'd be like if
the
somebody...
semi-finalist for King of Klingons.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if somebody murdered a presidential candidate the day, like, on election day.
The thing is, though, like, Klingons like that life, right?
They
so
do, but
probably to the Klingons, they were like, fuck yeah, Worf actually should be the king of Klingons.
I mean, honestly, the end result was going to be Duras and Gowron having to do combat to the death anyway. So Worf just saved everyone a little time.
That's how they... That was how they were going to pick which one was going to be the new chancellor?
Yeah, once they
combat.
Did the succession, they had to do combat.
Sorry, King of Klingons?
King of Klingons, that's correct.
The Kling.
Whereas in Star Trek 6, what's her name just sort of ascended, it seemed.
Yeah.
So apparently this isn't that ancient.
Well, who knows? Maybe it was... I don't know. Maybe it only is used when there's no air. Maybe they also just don't worry as much about continuity as fans do.
Yeah, probably.
That's definitely the case. No one worries about continuity
also,
as much
Kempek knew he was dying, so they kind of planned it, I think.
True.
There was no one thought... I forget the name of the fucking chancellor.
Gowron. Gorkon.
Also, if you kill a chancellor in honorable combat, you also just take the job. That's another way of succeeding.
Fun.
Because that happens at another point.
Anyway, we'll get back to Klingon stuff in a sec. Let's start with Legacy.
Oh. Fine, but Reunion was just so much more interesting.
Yeah, Reunion's going to have much more interesting discussion. I think Legacy, we're mostly going to talk about Tasha Yar some more. So let's talk about Tasha Yar.
Oh, let's.
Well,
let's talk about haircuts.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ishara Yar definitely got the short end of the haircut stick, and that's saying something, because Tasha's haircut wasn't great.
No, that one episode, though.
Where she was all purdied up.
When they kind of poofed it a little, like, that was great. The one with, where... Wyatt Earp again.
Good old Wyatt Earp.
When they were at the dinner party and Bev had her hair all...
because everybody else, they all had to have better hair than Wyatt, so...
Yeah, so they gave her that cool,
Speaking of damning with faint praise.
But yeah, I feel like her haircut looked like just straight out of an early 90s,
action
comic
film or
book.
Something. Yeah,
who was that?
It looked like something that would be worn better on Dolph Lundgren.
Or
I'm pretty
Rambo.
Sure
it looked like an action mullet.
Yeah,
she looked like
action mullet. Yes.
What's his name?
Jean-Claude
Rob
Van Damme.
Liefeld drawing, or at least her hair did. Her proportions made too much sense for the rest of her to be a Rob Liefeld drawing.
You were looking at her proportions, eh?
She had decent
proportions. She is a
she
human.
Nice proportions.
She's a human being. No one that Rob Liefeld draws, male or female, has proportions that make sense.
He's famous for drawing.
Oh, really huge titties.
Just
but also even the men are
80 inches across.
Enormous pecs and then these teeny tiny legs.
Yeah, just no sense
every day is arm day
of human anatomy.
Yeah,
for a comic book artist who presumably should know that.
Well, most comic book artists seem to have a pretty fucked up sense of how.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Think of how bad it must be if in an industry that isn't known for human proportions, people go, dude.
Oh yeah, that guy has never seen a human person.
Yeah.
Fine.
Raised by wolves.
But yeah, her haircut.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yep.
She wore it well, though. I mean, that's the thing. It was a terrible haircut, but it sort of worked for the boot camp Barbie look she was going for.
It was kind of similar to the...
That's right.
But yeah, so bad haircut, bad woman, using Data's emotions against him, or at least his familiarity paths against him.
Well, this also seems possibly like another case of the Federation not really questioning where help comes from.
What?
Yeah, but they took her they checked her DNA, and therefore she's a sister of Tasha, so it's fine, right?
Well, it's not just that, but so like one thing Caitlin didn't mention, I don't think in the intro, is that the whole reason they're even here is because there was a Federation shuttle or something,
freighter, I think.
Yeah, and it blew up in orbit, and the crew was stranded on the surface, and
these people will kill you on sight.
Yeah, this is not a friendly place.
As we know from Tasha's stories.
Yeah. So
she spoke of rape gangs all the fucking time.
Well, here's the thing. I'm beginning to wonder if the rape gang wasn't a little overstated, perhaps.
I'm pretty sure they were real.
These are some pretty rough customers, but I don't know, rape gangs?
I don't know. See, I'm a little bit curious about this society. So we have these two factions, the Coalition and the Alliance, and when...
Are they the rape gangs?
I'm not sure.
I would have assumed the cadres
Because
were,
here's the thing. When we're talking with Ishara, and she's telling us, when I was 14 or however many years old, or whenever she was old enough to pick, she said, I picked one of the factions instead of anything else. So it's like, so presumably you don't necessarily start off in one of the factions. So what is life?
I'm guessing you can also just be a citizen.
Yeah, so there's the two factions. They all live in these tunnels. I guess the two factions...
Tunnel snakes rule.
Live in other sides of the tunnels. I don't get that joke. And then everybody else is elsewhere?
A bystander.
A bystander? Do they all kind of overlap each other? It's really unclear. So there definitely could be rape gangs down there.
Yeah, presumably... So, they showed, in addition to Ashara, the other gang, the other cadre that we met.
Yeah,
the
green light people versus the yellow light people.
Green team had women that seemed to be, serving. So, at least in terms of the cadre, they're co-ed military organizations.
Oh, because people have never done that on, campuses and shit?
No, I'm sure there's bad shit that happened, but are they rape gangs, or are they just... bad men doing bad things?
The other thing is, it sounds like the government's been in flux for about 3 decades. But it sounds like there was an attempt to try and institute some control 15 years ago. So
their government collapsed 15 years ago, is what I read.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought that was when the government gave everyone the little proximity doodlies.
Well, maybe that was that was in tandem with it collapsing or something.
Maybe that precipitated it.
So I'm a little confused about timelines here.
They don't make a lot of sense.
Because if the government collapsed 15 years ago, but she was a baby when her parents died, and it was already chaos then, is she only 15?
Well, no, because they said the place had been, even though the government only collapsed 15 years ago, things had really been starting to fall apart for 30 years.
Okay.
There was just some pretend semblance of a government.
Okay.
Yeah, they fully gave up on it.
Like in Italy.
Yeah. Another confusing timeline thing I found, a little continuity error possibly. So Picard is telling Ashara about the first time he met or he saw Tasha, and he says, I saw her rescuing this colonist when my ship and her ship were both at the same place doing this evacuation or whatever.
I like the detail. It's nice.
Except it doesn't jive.
Why didn't it jive?
Because Picard's previous ship before the Enterprise, unless there's another ship we don't know about, was a Stargazer, which was blown up 9 years before Picard took command of the Enterprise. Which would have made Tasha very young, and probably still very young, not an adult, not in Starfleet. And then he also says that over the next few months I got to know her. So I don't think.
Maybe Yar just looked really good for her age. Maybe Yar's 40.
When was this battlefield thing supposed to have happened?
I presume it was supposed to happen shortly before Picard took command of the Enterprise.
Why before? Why not after?
Because, you don't know that.
Oh, there's more? Okay.
Yeah, Tasha is on the Enterprise before Picard is.
Oh, this doesn't make sense then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't know that yet, so...
That's true.
I'm thinking it makes perfect sense.
Admittedly, that is
Someone
is
fucks up
revealed
in a future episode.
very much later in the series that we learn that. But yes.
Whoops. But yeah. So who liked Ishara's cat suit?
Not me.
With matching holster.
I liked her silky white undershirt.
that showed her fucking tits.
Yeah. That was nice.
That was a cold day on the set that day, and we could tell.
Yeah, that was interesting, how they figured out a way to get that jacket off of her, just to make us sure we knew. Yeah. We knew what was going on underneath.
So that we knew that Tig Old Biddies ran in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a needless sexualization. Yeah. Very stupid.
I needed it.
Did you? That's great. So
you are underestimating my horniness, sir. Jesus.
I can never underestimate your horniness.
So,
why did she have to change into the cat suit to go on to the away mission?
It's because it's more aerodynamic,
Well, I also think she was wearing the uniform of the enemy, maybe.
Is that a uniform? That looks like just fucking clothes.
Well, yeah, but they all wore kind of the same clothes, and the different factions had different styles. Like the other,
it was a coat and a shirt.
The green team was like more like gray outfits, and the yellow team was more like brown outfits.
Oh, I wouldn't have noticed that, but still.
Well,
oh no, gray and brown.
The brown coats, the gray coats, the blue team. We haven't met.
Also, having just consulted the most reliable source there is on
you can see more
Star
of the
Trek,
titties.
The internet. Canonically, they've never actually established if there was a command between the Stargazer and the Enterprise.
I've always figured... I think, I know outside of canon, it's established that Picard basically takes 9 years off.
Yeah, but that's not alpha canon.
Mm.
So, there could have been another ship.
That's true. So I guess this is the best evidence to support that.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to imagine he would take 9 years off.
Well, he would.
Maybe he had to go work on that Atlantic project.
I know. I was actually thinking that. It's funny, but considering he didn't actually wind up taking any time off after the Borg incident, I can't imagine that.
Well, he also went through he was court-martialed after the Stargazer.
Oh, so maybe he had to take an unpaid leave for X years.
They were like, all right,
his job is unpaid.
Yeah,
so.
we find you innocent of the whole Stargazer loss incident, but we're gonna give you a little timeout.
Doesn't make sense, really.
It feels like he'd have to be found guilty to get the timeout.
He was just off banging his prosecutor.
Yep. No conflict of interest rules in Starfleet.
Nope. Well, so speaking of conflict of interest, so that's basically what this episode kind of boils down to. Everybody wants to Ishara right out of the gate.
Especially Data.
What a great coinkydink. The first people they happen to meet on this planet are people that know Ishara.
Yeah.
And know that she had a sister named Tasha, and that this happened to be the ship that they were on, and we could use that against them.
It is super convenient.
Most things are.
That's television for you.
At first, I think it was Troy or somebody was they could have just looked up in the database and when we said we knew somebody from here, they could have probably put 2 and 2 together and figured out it was Tasha, and this could be a phony baloney. But it was real. So that's nice, at least.
She was phony baloney, just not the way they thought.
It's nice because it means Data's heartbreak is that much greater at the end.
Yeah, poor Data, man.
Data has no luck with women yet.
No, he does not.
They either die or betray him.
Or love him, and he doesn't love them back.
Or that.
I don't think he ever ends up having good luck with women, unfortunately.
Better
than Geordi. I was going to say, yep.
Really, no one on the show, of the people on the show who we've seen have any type of relationship, it's never really worked out, has it?
No, because what?
Well, Kirk had his girlfriend there.
Yeah.
You're talking about this series.
Nora in the original, but...
Tasha Yar's dead.
Jack Crusher's
dead.
In the next episode, we see Kalar bite it.
Poor Kalar.
Leah Brahms is a hologram for now.
And when she meets him, she's not into it, right?
Well, we'll get there.
Well, no one else is into it. She's not.
They're all married to the job, man.
It's true.
Starfleet.
Even Picard, Vash turns out to be, not that great, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he should really just keep hitting it with that attorney.
I just kind of feel like they've got all this stuff going for them, and there's no no scarcity, no nothing. I wonder if the drive to reproduce is lower because of.
I mean, people are also living longer, so why reproduce? Because you're going to overpopulate, and even with colonies.
Well, someone has to do it.
Well,
raise them in jars.
Also, I mean, we're looking at career military officers.
Yeah.
Might be.
Well, that's true. There's plenty of families on board the Enterprise.
And this is also like an odd sampling. Like, this is not a representative sampling of what most people probably are like.
Now, it does seem like if you wind up in Starfleet long enough and in a high enough position, you eventually just say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Because, again, no one from the original except Sulu was retconned to have had a kid at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk had a kid.
That's true.
When does Sulu
He's
get a
dead.
kid? Is that only in the Kelvin universe?
No, in Generations.
I haven't seen Generations.
Yeah, there's a Sulu.
What's Generations?
It's a movie.
That's one of them.
Oh, one of the TNG movies? Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
But yeah,
I was
so...
like, I know that's not a series.
Kirk has a kid, but, like, you get the sense he, accidentally knocked her up and wasn't in his son's life at all until 10 minutes before he got stabbed by Dr. McCoy. I mean, Doc Brown. Yes, he's
Wish
like
it were
Worf.
Dr. McCoy.
Killed David?
Oh. Why not?
But it wasn't him specifically. He just gave the order, and it was one of his men that did it, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But yeah, you gotta feel bad for Data, because not only did this girl end up not actually liking him, she did try to kill him a little.
Yeah.
I think she actually liked him. I think that was the part she wasn't lying about. But
yeah,
that's
she
too
didn't
fucking
want
bad.
to kill him. She just did.
But she would have.
Yeah, she would have, and she fired at him.
I don't think she really fired at him. I thought it looked like she was firing at where he was going to walk to make him stop.
Mm.
Like, if they were trying to signify that Data has these superhuman reflexes and dove out of the way, it wasn't really any good deke that he did.
I don't think so either, and you might be right. She might not have actually aimed at him, but she definitely...
She aimed at Riker.
Yeah. I think she would have shot him if she got a chance to before she got shot. Because I think to her it was more important to take out the enemy.
Worf was also probably pretty bummed she was a traitor because he was into her.
Why was Worf into her?
It was very subtle.
Well, he and Tasha were really tight.
But plus there was one point where he came on the bridge when she was in the cat suit. He kind of, as he was walking to his station, kind of gave her a look and,
he was checking out
smiled a little. And then later on there was something else that made you feel like he was kind of like, hi.
Wow.
We really do have two,
when she was in engineering and they showed her in that cat suit from the back, it gives you a good indication of why Worf was taking a look.
Yeah, because she wasn't given proper trousers.
Good ass? I didn't even notice.
You didn't notice that as we commented on it.
I missed it.
The ass was good.
The tits were good too.
It
was all good except for
the haircut ruined it.
Somewhere in fucking Rick Berman's diseased brain, a seed was planted that would sprout years later.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to see plenty more in Voyager and Enterprise.
Good ass.
All over the place.
Cat suits. Fucking...
so many cat suits.
Cat suits.
Good ass in cat suits? Good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
As long as...
Bloody unnecessary.
I'm gonna circle back and talk about those proximity implants.
Mm-hmm.
So, explain what they actually did, because it was unclear. So, whenever you were near someone of the other side, they'd light up?
Or if you were in their territory.
Okay,
I was under the impression.
When the Enterprise crew first beams down among the whatever side Ishar is on, the Coalition, I think, all of them are glowing.
They're glowing, but they're not flashing.
I think they were doing a raid into Green Team's territory.
This just sounds like a giant game of capture the flag.
Yeah.
It sort of is.
I was just
what
thinking it
is?
was like Legends of the Hidden Temple. Blue Barracudas.
It seems to me
Jaguar,
so they say that the implants were the government's doing, like that was their idea.
Was it the government, or was it each faction?
No, it was the government.
Well, then the government has to know which faction you're on.
I think you just tell. I think, I'm green team. Give me a green one.
Yeah, but Ishara joined after the government had collapsed.
Then the cadres were doing it on their own.
Probably.
This is idiotic.
Well, and it's especially...
why would the cadre do it on their own if they wanted you to sneak into enemy territory?
Wear a fucking scarf!
Well, because I think it's like a mutually assured destruction thing. Like, as long as both teams keep doing it, they're protected more or less from being raided by the other team.
Sure, but I would stop doing it and then raid the other team.
You can't take them out. So really, you can only do this with
just like with mutual assured destruction, then the other team does that. And then the whole point of the thing was to keep the peace.
Yeah, but if you stop doing it, strike once and take them all out, there's no mutually assured destruction. You've just killed
that's what they were doing.
Team.
That's what they were doing in this episode.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have just stopped doing it to begin with.
Just hire someone who's not on either team and make them do it.
But it's stupid plot convenience anyway.
Yeah, no, it's dumb.
Frankly, it's a terrible idea because it assures permanent state of war. Like, there cannot be peace.
Right.
While you have this.
I don't know, Picard, they did just give Ishara back to the Coalition without her beacony thing. So now she could just go ahead and try again.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll just give her a new one. Honestly, I have a lot of questions for Picard. I think Picard has a lot of splaining to do because he essentially pulled in maybe not with as much intent, but he essentially pulled a Jameson in that he got involved in this civil war, basically.
Because of a hostage crisis. And although he didn't end up giving weapons, he gave aid, certainly, to Yellow Team and showed a preference for Yellow Team.
He gave a weapon to Ishara, and she shot a bunch of people.
I mean, so they sent the Green Team sent a hostage message of the prisoners, the guys from the ship.
Yeah,
like, you got 20 hours to what do we have to do? Send weapons?
I think it was weapons. Yeah,
like you got 20 hours. They didn't even try to negotiate. They didn't what the fuck. Picard's just like,
no,
they
didn't want to give them weapons.
We're on Yellow Team, so
well, they did try to say something, but then Green Team cut them off.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, because Bev was being all like, ask if we can at least send medicals to, and then went.
This whole I wasn't crazy about this plot. It seemed like a plot manufactured. They're like, oh, let's have an episode with Tasha Yar's sister. All right, now let's build a plot around that.
Yeah, and why? It's unnecessary. We don't need Tasha Yar's sister.
I mean,
I didn't need that.
A lot of plots are built around we want to do X, and it can work. This one just
Remembering the crumbling society Yar came from, there's a lot you could mine out of a colony that's gone.
Yeah,
bad.
Totally.
Yeah, but basically they just negged everything she said, though. Like, why? It didn't need to be Tasha Yar or Tasha Yar's sister, because we're basically being like, no, the planet's nothing like Tasha Yar told us.
Well, again, so
why the fuck do we need this?
I assume it's because since they're down to 2 factions.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I just feel
I think there's no reason to assume they weren't once actually like that.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, if you're not going to show it the way we knew about it, why bother even making it this planet and these people and have this be her sister? This could have been any stupid civil war on any stupid planet.
Well, I mean, really the point was so that Data could kind of fall in love with the sister.
Yeah, but he knew her for 5 minutes. And I knew her for only 5 minutes and I don't care about her. You know what I mean?
He was DTF for minute 2.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like it's flimsy. It's flimsy.
For a second, you looked a little like Tasha.
No, you didn't.
No,
Robert looks more like Jean-Luc than she looked like Tasha.
Yeah, I just felt it was flimsy.
Definitely.
Not into it.
I mean, it was kind of nice.
Shallow and pedantic.
It was nice to have them finally explain. Because my issue had always been, why did the Federation let this colony get this bad to begin with? Mm-hmm. Only in this episode do they finally say, oh yeah, they cut themselves off from the Federation.
Yeah, and they said, if you come down here, we will kill you.
Yeah, so it's alright, so I now see why this place went to shit. They declared independence and fell to pieces. Fair enough.
Yep.
Next.
Yep.
Next.
So yeah, reunion.
I
gotta admit, I didn't know a lot about this one. It was really good. I was worried, because at first I thought it was just gonna be, hi Worf, here's your son, and the episode would just all be Alexander.
Oh,
but he was barely in it, thank God.
Not at all.
Any moment he was in it, though.
Oh, he was terrible.
Why?
Terrible.
Even for a child actor, he was bad.
Why?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Now, speaking of timeline inconsistencies, Worf... I mean, we've talked about this before, but I feel like... So Alexander is 1/4 human, right?
Yes.
Or so we think.
Why wouldn't we think that?
Well, because we're only given K'Ehleyar's word that it's Worf's son.
Well, in the last episode, we pulled out the DNA tester, and Troy was a terrible Vorpovich. I sense nothing about this sister
There's
thing.
no reason not to trust her.
I mean, the child is not 1, right?
What?
So...
I don't know.
He's way
We're
old.
supposed to believe that Jenny had Forrest's kid. We just bought that.
That's true. Was that Haley Joel?
Was it? I think, yeah, actually.
It was.
Yeah. Was it first role? It must have been.
Or definitely early role.
Yeah. Before Sixth Sense, for sure.
Oh, yeah. It was early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alexander, I would say, if in human years, I would say 3 or 4. Probably.
Wait, when did we meet her, though?
Actually, no, we can actually look. So the actor...
Late in season 2.
Yeah.
Late in season 2.
But how much time has passed between seasons 2 and 3?
I don't know.
4.
I always sort of assume...
In Remember Me, Crusher references everyone having known each other for 3 years.
Yeah, so far we assume that
it's been real one-to-one time passage.
I have a tinfoil hat for this.
All right.
K'Ehleyr and Worf used to be fuck buddies, or at least like nuzzle buddies if they didn't actually fuck, because apparently once you fuck you have to take the oath or some shit. Since they weren't fucking, and he was probably just getting handies, she probably saved some, froze it, and kept it just for a time where she was really lonely or something.
She's
and wanted
baby
a kid.
crazy, just like Lana.
Either that, or K'Ehleyr's baby daddy gone walked out on her, and she's like, man, I gotta get my child support somewhere. So she's like, I'm gonna dump this kid on Worf. And Worf, being the honorable man he is, took him in anyway.
I like mine better.
It's really Duras's kid.
But he's not dumb.
I'm going to take all this at face value, because this is getting weird.
I'm also going to say, apparently in an early plot, K'Ehleyr and Duras were an item. And they cut that.
It's Duras's kid. Oh my god! You are not the father! Holy shit! Holy shit! It's Duras's kid.
No, it's Worf's.
Yeah, but that'd be one of those
just
times
age really
where
fast
like the guy that thought he was the dad is really upset that he isn't. Like I feel like Worf would be crying because he wasn't the dad.
When we see what a fucking weenie he is.
Who, Alexander?
Well, that's because K'Ehleyr isn't upbringing him as a Klingon.
And then
we see more of him,
raised
and
on
he's
Earth
always a weenie
for a while.
The son of Worf would be a warrior.
Well, you have to
versus
train
nurture,
him,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Rozhenkos probably take him in and are like, all right, unlike your daddy, you're not do Klingon things. We're tired of that. Here, have borscht.
Yeah, here's
no blood pie, borscht.
Prune juice?
Well, the Russians are usually pretty hard, too, so I don't know. Anyway.
Really, it's that the...
Alexander sucks. Let's talk about the good part of the episode.
I was going to say the step-parent, the Worf's step-parents raised him in whatever way he wanted to be raised. And it could just be that Alexander's like, no, that's all weird and it killed mommy, so let's stay away from that.
That works.
Because he's going to be traumatized for the rest of his life, because he watched his mommy, like, get fucking torn to pieces.
Well, he didn't watch her get torn to pieces. He just saw the aftermath.
Oh, that's right. He just saw Lion King.
He came in after he was with Worf.
Yeah, she was alone when Duras.
They were in the holodeck tearing animals to pieces
or something. Yeah. So yeah, but let's get to the part of the episode that didn't suck.
Yeah, that actually had actors doing acting.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice to have K'Ehleyr back, even if she did bring fucking Alexander with her.
I'm sad she's gone, dude.
Yeah,
I liked K'Ehleyr.
She was great.
She looked good, too.
She always looks good. She's sexy.
They did have her in much better clothes this time.
I liked her clothes last time.
There were one or two outfits that I was just like...
Her red jacket.
What
she has in the poster.
Listen, I wanted to fuck her then, and I want to fuck her now. Alright? I don't... It doesn't...
Yeah, no, she's great. It's a shame they killed her.
Yeah. They had to, though.
And
otherwise, where do you go with this?
No, I know.
And yet, Okono is still out there.
Yeah, I do like that she was, working with Picard. Like, he's like, all right, how can I fuck with them? And she was like, yes, let's fuck with them. This makes me so excited.
Yeah.
Maybe Picard was the father.
This was before she even knew Duras was a piece of shit.
Yeah, too. She just, on some level, she probably...
Duras wears his piece of shittiness on his sleeve.
Yeah, she could just sense that he was awful.
Okay, so question. So we know it was Duras' men that had the bomb. We know that it was Duras that fucked over Worf's family. We know that it was Duras that killed K'Ehleyr. Do we know for a fact that it was Duras that poisoned K'mpec?
No.
Or are we just assuming he did all the other things, he probably did that too?
Well, the other piece of evidence is that poison is not an honorable, not a Klingon. According to Worf, anyway, poison would not be a Klingon.
According to that book Worf read.
It feels like a Duras move, because he's a coward and a weenie.
But we know nothing about Gowron except that he's got crazy eyes.
That's true.
He does have crazy eyes.
He does have crazy eyes.
Guys, that's ableist. It's no reason to think that he would use poison.
But yeah,
what? I'm saying it's crazy eyes. I'm saying that means...
No, I know.
That is a fair point, that it could have been...
Yeah, that's true.
I almost said Martok, Gowron, that did the poisoning.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I was too busy just being like, it has to be Duras.
I don't know. I feel like Gowron also has reason, because apparently he's an outsider who's been harassing the council to do new things or something, do other stuff.
So if there were only two challengers. Mm-hmm. You'd think that it would be a major power struggle.
Well, you figure Duras has been doing enough glad handing and palm greasing.
Duras has a big fucking house.
Yeah, that everyone was just like, fine. And actually, that's what it is, really, is most of the Klingon Empire was ready to be like, yeah, whatever you want, Duras. It was Gowron, the outsider, who was like, nope, me and my big eyes will present a challenge. And they were like, oh, for Gowron, you're fucking everything up. Nope.
Well, that's interesting, right?
No one can see the face or
so you guys can, and that's enough for me.
So I could see, like a War of the Roses type situation.
Think how much you could see if you had those big fucking eyeballs of Gowron's. Sorry.
Not while I'm drinking.
Right? Because if the majority of the rest of the houses were loyal to Duras.
Or afraid
of Duras. I could see like a splintering thing going on here,
you know? Someone finally has the chutzpah to stand up to those cowardly, pataks.
So we can only hope that the succession of Gowron goes without incident.
And,
well, I'm sure we'll hear more.
What was great for me was, again, I feel like we talked about this with a different Worf episode where, like, they let him go through with something. I forget what it was exactly. But, again, like, they even did the, like, cutaway thing. Like, you were going to look back and he was going to just jam the batleth into the deck next to him. Nope! Right in his fucking heart. See you fucking putz.
Yep.
You and your shitty house.
Everybody Worf knows died in this episode.
Seriously?
Kern is still out there
That's
somewhere.
True. Kern's alright.
Is that his brother?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll die eventually. I legit don't know. I just assume because that seems to be Worf's luck.
That's true. Worf does not.
No Pilar, no Kempek.
Yep.
He gets a space telegram letting him know his nanny died of natural causes during all this.
What about Alexander? Is he gonna die, or are we stuck with him forever? He's in DS9, isn't he?
They do switch actors.
Yeah, this is the only time we see this actor, I think.
Good.
Well, that's good.
I mean, here's the thing.
Isn't he in DS9?
Yeah, no, he appears like once or twice in DS9. He appears a lot more. Here's the thing. I know they switch actors.
A couple of times.
Yeah, and this other actor, like, from what I recall, like, technically he's a better actor, but the character still sucks. Like,
Still a ninny?
I don't get why so many people piss and moan about Wesley, because I would rather have a ship full of Wesleys than see Alexander ever again.
A ship full of Wesleys.
Is
that like a month of Sundays?
Yeah, like this just proves that fandom doesn't... People like just piling on something because they hear it's bad. It's like, if any of you took a minute and stepped back and looked at Alexander, you would hate him way more than Wesley. You'd hate him more than Neelix.
The thing is, Alexander isn't a character, really. He's just there.
And he doesn't show up all that often. And,
because he can't give child actors lines. He memorized why, and why.
Yeah.
Good job, kid.
Why?
Because I said so.
Seeing such a small person with the Klingon makeup on was funny though.
I can't imagine a kid sitting still for that. Did they tranquilize him? Like,
I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're like, man, we have to get this week. The only kid that has such a low energy, he can sit still for the 2 hours it takes to put on the makeup.
He's actually narcoleptic.
Yeah, exactly.
The kid passed out. Get the makeup on him.
I'm just thinking they gave him whatever people used to give to pet store pets.
Oh no!
Just to knock him out and keep him placid for the makeup and the shooting. And then
I was more interested in how, like, in some scenes, when he was speaking, you could often see him looking off.
Yeah, probably someone feeding him a line.
Prompting him.
Yeah, no, he was awful.
Yeah,
but we're back on Alexander, not the good stuff.
Yeah, and Worf already has enough orphans that he's bonded with.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, the politics here, it's good fun.
He's still tucking in Wesley, isn't he?
He's tucking Wesley. He's got... Jeremy something or other.
Jeremy Piven.
Aster. That who's his, like, apprentice or some shit. He doesn't need an even worse one.
Yeah, no. This one's terrible, even in his blood.
When will Worf stop tucking in Wesley?
No, when he goes off to the academy.
He's like 33, married, has a couple kids of his own. Worf's still like, all right, Wesley, time for bed.
How did you even get here?
I was convinced...
Teleporter.
I was also convinced that Alexander was going to accidentally cut himself in half when he touched the batleth.
If only.
First use of the batleth, which was nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
No.
We also saw a reuse, I think, of one of the weapons from the arena battle on
Code of Honor.
Oh,
yeah, it was the
Glaven.
Yeah, the poison glove that was used for a comedy murder in that one scene, where the guy gets it in his chest and he's like, "What?"
Yeah. So Worf apparently was so taken with that weapon that he's like, "Can I have that? I want one."
He just pulled it off the guy's chest.
Yeah.
But interestingly, Duras in their fight uses a regular sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
Well, it's because he sold the family fucking Batleth for drinks one day because he's an honorless piece of shit.
Well, it's interesting how, like, so this is the first time we see the Batleth, and we only see really the one, which is Worf's, and it's a family heirloom.
Yep.
And then, in no time flat, the Batleth is, like, the only weapon Klingons use.
Yeah.
Until DS9 when somebody discovers the Makleth.
That little knife, is that what that's called?
No, there's another, it's like two weapon, the Makleth, which is like, if you cut a Batleth in two, I guess, kind of.
But we had a knife in the last episode or two.
Well, yeah, there's also
the ceremonial
Klingon knife that has the things that split out. I just wanted one of those. They used to, like, at Star Trek conventions as a kid, like, people would make those and try to sell them. I always wanted one.
Oh, nice.
Your parents were sensible.
The parents were like, no, we're not buying you. Because they were actual knives.
Yeah, giant fucking knives.
Well, listen, you're a big boy now. You can.
I can get my own Batleth if I wanted.
True.
You could. It would go really nicely on this wall.
That's true.
It would. That's what that wall could
Or actually, you could have two of them on these walls. Flanking Batleth.
No, you get the Batleth there. And the Amok Time weapon there. What is that called?
Oh,
Lirpa.
Yeah, but there's two of them. There's the Lirpa and there's the other thing.
Well, I mean the Lirpa. That's the more iconic one.
Oh, excuse me.
Anyway.
Also, introduction of the Vorsha class, which
yes!
I'm sure Chris has opinions on.
It's very pretty. Actually, so here's what I learned about the Vorsha class. It has a Klingon logo on it, but it's colored like it was in TAS. Instead of just red and white or red and black, it's red, yellow, and green. That was what I noticed more than
blue.
Oh, is it blue? Oh, yeah. And that's straight out of TAS. So, weird little callback to TAS of all fucking things.
Good, it's canonized now.
Yeah.
But, I like the Vorsha. It's, it seems like a logical evolution of the D7 or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. Purportedly, it was they were meaning to reflect more Federation aesthetics. Now that the Klingons and the Federation aren't at war and I'm probably sharing technology. So they made it the color like between the green and the gray of Klingon and Federation ships respectively.
But it still sneaks up on them and decloaks.
It does,
which is like, come on, Klingons.
Well, that's
because they're just assholes.
And also, skullduggery is afoot. Kempek doesn't know who he can trust. Maybe there's other cloak ships following him.
He knows he can trust Picard. Interestingly,
which is interesting.
Well, yeah, but he has to get to him first.
Yeah, so he chooses Picard to be the arbiter, knowing Picard will not like Duras.
Yep.
Does Kempek kind of suspect Duras is going to get...
Probably.
Wouldn't you if you were Kempek?
The finger pointed at?
Probably.
Yeah, he was definitely stacking the deck, which is fine, because fuck Duras. Glad he's dead.
I like though, that they didn't... I mean, obviously Duras was a piece of shit the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
But... I like how they didn't, portray Gowron as being some, nice guy.
Yeah, he's just a weirdo.
He's still a fucking Klingon.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Nice guys in Klingon.
He still seemed like kind of an asshole. He was still mean to Worf.
Yeah.
As he should, because Worf has been discommendated.
Don't look at my hair like that.
Well, that's the thing.
Your hair like that.
Minor spoilers, but if I didn't know Gowron comes back, I might have been like, oh, are they... Because you're right,
Gowron is Alexander's
Duras
dad.
Seems too obvious, so maybe it's this other guy who's kind of weird and is making strange overtures to Kalar.
I would have preferred that it was the other guy in a way, because it just seems like it's the easy way out to make it be Duras.
Oh, that's kind of true. And then you get to kill him off and have Worf feel like he's done something.
I mean, it was awesm. Though.
So when Worf kills Duras, he uses the right of vengeance or whatever because Kalar was his mate, and yet Duras says, "If you kill me, you'll be a traitor forever." Why?
Because Duras is the only one who could clear Worf's name of the of the charge for which he was discommendated.
So the truth wouldn't do that.
Well, but that's the thing. Duras is the only one that has the truth.
Picard has the truth. Kalar found it.
But they don't have evidence.
That's I think Kalar deduced it from what she could get from public archives.
I think so remember the whole thing was that they forged
LaForged?
They LaForged the transmissions to the Romulans came from Worf's father's access code. So presumably there exists a copy of those records, the original records that have Duras's father's access code. So Duras must have those, which would be the only evidence that could prove beyond a doubt.
Well, so now they're just hanging out in his house somewhere. It's fine.
What happens to those files now that Duras can't unlock them? Are they just lost forever?
They probably go to his next of kin to deal with. I don't know.
Alexander.
Well, maybe his next of kin will be a nice guy.
I'm sure if there's somebody else in the house of Duras that, can take the leadership. I'm sure there's some feudal succession lines. Gavelkind.
Some Klingon weirdness.
Promedjur or something. I don't know.
Jajuk.
I'm forgetting my CK2. There are several different methods of succession that you can adopt in the
No one's
system.
impressed, Jake.
But yeah, I do enjoy, though, Kempek dragged Picard into this and knew full well Picard wasn't going to like it, so made it so Picard had to.
Yeah, I thought for a second they should drag Riva back in because he's a good mediator, but then I wondered, I wonder if he actually survived his last mediation.
No.
Riva?
Yeah.
Oh, the guy with the people. Sad face.
The guy with the people.
I can't remember which one of you said it while we were watching, but really, K'Ehleyr should have been a permanent character on the show as the ship's parliamentarian.
Oh, that was me.
Lawyer or whatever, because she knows her shit.
Yeah. She looks good doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down that she was doing some sultry sleuthing.
Dude, she was being very sultry, even with the computer. We'll go through these one at a time. Ooh, girl.
Yeah, no, K'Ehleyr's great.
And now
too bad she's dead.
We will later see her actress as an Andorian in Enterprise.
That's fun.
Sure, not for a long time.
Will she still have nice titties?
Probably.
She's dressed
like
in
an
Andorian clothing.
A little saggier. It happens with age.
Oh, bless her.
But she's also got a big white wig and deedly bobs.
I like deedly bops.
Deedly bobs.
Like to deedle her bops. Yeah. You call them deedly bops, I call them blowjob handles.
We were joking that it would have been great if when they came in to when Dr. Crusher came in to examine her after she had been killed. It would be funny if Salar came in as well.
That's cute.
And you couldn't see K'Ehleyr's face because of the way they had her, so they totally could have.
Oh, that'd be funny.
That would have been hysterical.
That would have been amazing. Oh, Picard's power moves during his meetings, like when he schedules the meeting and says, in 1 hour, because that's when I've decided it is.
Yep.
And we're going to do the Jajuk, because I said so.
My best thing is like Duras is like, exactly 1 hour, and then Picard said later to Worf, like, I'm going to be a little late.
I love it.
No,
he just hates Duras, that's all.
I mean, he ain't keen on this whole situation, but yes, he especially hates Duras.
Well, yeah, but he also knows that Klingons, they like when you kind of push the limits and are dick a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the fucking pain sticks to check that you're dead.
Oh, that's fucking
What
brutal.
happens if you're not dead? It might kill you.
It just hurts a lot.
He was dying. If you pain sticked him before he died, he would have just died.
Well, then he's dead, so either way.
Then you stick him again.
And yeah, of course, Duras had to get a little extra.
Yeah, his was extra long.
Dickhead.
Hot. What?
Yeah, hot dickhead, for sure.
Yeah, no, like Picard just did a sort of a quick perfunctory. Gowron gave it a slightly longer one, and then Duras was just like digging it in.
Duras was like, I have the tiniest dicks here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then of course, as mentioned, like Worf gets, a formal reprimand in his record for murdering what is essentially a foreign dignitary.
Yeah. But admittedly, it was on foreign soil under their custom.
That's true.
That's true. They do have a lot of custom that allow for this. Like how last week the Talarians had that custom that allows you to kidnap somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as your kid died first.
Well, it's also like that one is a little hairy too, though, because that was not. There was a territorial dispute, blah, blah, blah. This was all very straightforward, cut and dry. It's like he was on Klingon soil, unquestionably.
And that guy did kill his mate.
Yeah, and everything he did was within Klingon law. Also...
Do those count if you're discommendated?
I mean, that's the thing. Apparently, yes. Because at first he was like, right of vengeance. And they were like, fuck you, man. She was my mate. Oh, that overrides the fuck you, man. Because even the crew was like, oh, shit.
Oh, like, he tapped that? Props, dude.
Fuck. Nice.
Yeah, but the other Klingons probably weren't impressed because she's just like a filthy half-breed.
No, but they were still just like, so either way, it overrode the discommendation. Also, one thing I found a little suspect was like, apparently there's only 13 worlds represented on the Enterprise.
Mostly humans.
I know.
Almost entirely humans.
It's easier to...
One Klingon.
A Klingon.
I'm sure the android doesn't count because he doesn't really represent another.
There's a Bolian. because he's the barber.
There's a
there's a Vulcan.
There's Guinan, wherever she's from.
Is she a member of the crew, technically? Or is she there just because she's awesome?
Oh, I don't know.
She's there because she allows
Didn't they say represented on the Enterprise? They didn't say crew. So
I'm saying, like, it would have been nice if they'd had a bigger number. Like, yes, obviously we mostly see humans because budget, but it's a 1,000-person ship. We don't see the whole ship at once. We could always assume there's a Kelpian running around.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of other aliens that look exactly like humans.
Yeah,
because that's easy.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, I just feel like they were lowballing, or just proving that Federation is super racist.
You got long balls, Larry.
Oh, and finally, this was another episode directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Good for him.
Nice. Good for JF.
And he wasn't in it, really, was he?
You didn't see much of Riker.
He was in it, but he wasn't...
Yeah, he wasn't major.
Yeah, I can imagine it being a real pain in the ass directing an episode that you're heavily in.
Yeah.
Doesn't, like, Patrick Stewart eventually directs one, right?
I don't remember.
I think he does.
You feel like he would. It feels like tradition. For first officers and captains to direct.
He was going to direct the 5th TNG movie that never ended up getting made.
What was that going to be about?
Yeah, they were going to go to find God.
Nice.
And Data's brother Lore would show up again.
Did Patrick Stewart write it?
No.
Yeah, but there was a writer's strike, and it,
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Which one is
Teamster strike?
I know this is just me, like, being ADHD because it's in the room, but is First Contact the last film they do?
No, it's the second one.
Second of 4.
And it's
the
like,
last
and it's
good
like the only good one, right? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, the other.
But how can they call it First Contact when we've already had contact with it before?
It'll make sense when you see it.
Will it?
Yeah.
You have to watch the movie.
Really?
Yes.
Delighted.
Yeah.
So was there anything else?
No, it's pretty cut and dry. It's a good episode. Not a lot happened.
Really good. Not a lot of Alexander.
Cloak and daggery shit, and it's all good.
Considering there's a lot of Klingon culture that you get thrown at you, like it handles it very well, I thought.
And the only really major piece of continuity continues to be the Klingon shit.
Yeah.
I can see why it caught on with a lot of people, because like...
we see Lore again.
Yeah, but what I mean, though, is like, it's the only thing that sort of keeps coming up with real consequence in a big way.
Yeah, this is a story that has an arc that's...
Yeah, well, like you said a few weeks ago, it goes all the way into DS9, for Christ's sake.
To the end of DS9, really.
Yeah, so...
Okay, well, cool. I think that's all we have from these shows. I think the first one was kind of a meh, but it was okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It was forgettable.
The thing is, like, the episodes so far this season have been so strong.
Yeah.
This is probably the weakest one this season.
Is season 4 going to be like season 3, where our bottom picks are going to be all ones that would have been fine otherwise?
Can you, like, star it right now on your card as something that kind of blows? Just so you remember.
I don't know if I'd say anything blows.
It doesn't even
yet.
blow. I mean, like I say, I think in season
nothing
2, this would have been
yet.
pretty good.
I have to disagree, though, with that statement that I still feel that...
Transfigurations is garbage.
It's just actually full bad. Like, I know we had said, like, oh yeah, compare... in any other season, that still would have been a particularly bad episode. Everything else, you're right. Like, I'll even say that while I put Who Watches the Watchers on my bottom list...
Because you're wrong.
It's still far better than a lot of stuff from seasons 1 and 2. It was just in a much stronger season. But Transfigurations? Fucking shit.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first.
I meant to put that on the record earlier.
Wow.
And now it is.
You heard it here first, like 3 episodes ago.
I know.
We already talked about how much he hates Transfigurations.
Well, it's a shitty episode.
Well, yeah.
Okay, folks. Let's do this.
Or let's stop doing this.
Let's stop doing this. Next time on A Star to Steer Her By, we're going to be talking about 2 fun episodes. First, Future Imperfect. Future Imperfect. What we lacked in Frakes this week, we'll make up for in Future Imperfect.
It's about grammar.
Yes.
Kelsey grammar.
That's another episode.
So yes, we will have it is a Riker heavy episode. It's a pretty fun episode, so I think you guys will like it.
Yay.
And also, arguably the best episode of the show to date. Arguably.
Really?
In Final Mission. And I say that because it is Will Wheaton's final regular cast appearance.
Woo!
Ouch. Are you including TOS in that? You just knew that there was going to be a day where you'd be done with this kid?
No, I'm kidding, because he's actually gotten better.
He's been a lot better, yeah.
Yeah, like I've said before, outside of season 1, where frankly no one was written well pretty much, he's fine.
Yeah,
Data's always written perfectly.
But yeah, that is the end of Wesley as a regular. I think he appears in 3 or 4 He appears in 4 more episodes, spread out over the rest of the show. So
sweet. Is he in the movies?
He's in
at least one.
He's in one of the movies, but I feel like most of his shit got cut, and I think he only appears in the background.
Oh.
If that even. I can't remember.
I'd still take him over Troy, though, TBH.
Yeah.
But she's got nicer tits.
So, yeah, and he went on to have a successful film career.
Aww.
Sarcasm?
He was a guest on
Big Bang Theory.
Well, yeah, there's that, but he was a guest on Bill Nye's show on Netflix, Bill Nye Saves the World, I think, when they did an episode about aliens and brought in like these alien specialists and Will Wheaton.
Yeah, but Will Wheaton is now a professional game boarder on YouTube or something. So.
Bill.
I never liked the Bill Nye show. I was Beekman. Yeah, I was a Beekman's World girl. Yeah.
I was Mr. Wizard. I like Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard was cool. I've seen Mr. Wizard, actually.
Because he was kind of a dick. He's just like this curmudgeon-y old man.
Learn facts!
Children! It was always like...
He sounded like Rick.
He already... Rick from Rick and Morty? Oh, Jesus.
So he's the Captain Picard of science.
Kind of. If you've never seen Mr. Wizard, look him up on YouTube because...
I just watch him all the time.
He also for our audience.
He must have passed, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was really old.
He was pretty old.
My dad was watching that shit.
But he always had children on the show helping him do, well, not helping him. It wasn't like he was doing actual research, but he was teaching kids about science by having them do experiments. But he always kind of seemed like he was a little aggravated that the kid was not quite, maybe not quite getting it right away.
Probably wasn't aggravated.
Just let me do it.
He probably wasn't aggravated by the kids. He probably just really needed a drink or something.
Probably. He seemed like a sweet guy, other than the fact that he did have kind of a.
I thought he died in 2000. He died in 2007, just shy of 90 years old.
He was 165 years old.
And also, when I googled Mr. Wizard, one of the first hits was a YouTube video called "Mr. Wizard's a Dick."
Okay. Well,
so you'll be watching that later.
Well, I should post that.
I like Mr. Wizard show. I used to watch it. It was a before school kind of thing.
Same. Yeah,
I used very early in the morning.
I remember. Well, so when this is a non sequitur, obviously, but when my mother would always get up really early for work because I think she had to be at work at 8, and I had to be at school for whenever, and Dad had to be at school for 9. She would wake me up to say goodbye. She told me to go back to bed. And every day I would get up, go into their bedroom and say, "Dad, can I watch cartoons now?" And he would be like, "Yup." And he'd turn on TV 38 and I'd watch fucking Underdog and Mr. Wizard and fucking Fractured Fairy Tales and all that shit. Go Gophers and all that old garbage. And it was the best.
Nice.
It was the fucking bomb.com.
Good memories. I used to watch... my early morning TV was Mr. Wizard. Flipper was always on.
Yeah,
Lassie.
on Nickelodeon. Yeah. Oh, I loved Lassie.
Flipper was just Lassie with a dolphin instead of a dog.
Yeah, but
what's that, Flipper?
Which means they had to contrive every issue so that a dolphin could help.
I don't remember much about Flipper. I do remember there was one episode where they encountered some guys unloading nitroglycerin. And they're we have to go home and tell Dad about the nitroglycerin that we found. That stuff is really explosive. It's what is going on in Florida?
Have you heard of Florida?
I was going to say it lines up.
It was Florida in the 60s, though. So
Florida's been Florida for a long fucking time. Anyway.
All right, so that's coming up next time. Until then, you can find us on a Star Trek Facebook.
To steer her by.
Search for Facebook.co.uk. A star to steer her by. You can also find our Twitter and Tumblr at twitter.com and tumblr.com. SSHBpodcast.com. And then you can find us on iTunes. I don't know if that's .com.
God, we have so many more seasons of you doing this, don't we?
Yep, we're not even halfway there yet.
So iTunes and Google and every other iTunes thing. And then until then, you can also follow us on Facebook, which I already mentioned, so you already know that part. Anyway, my name's Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Kaylar, no!
I was doing the Klingon death thing.
I got that.
Oh, okay. Here's. I was going to show you just an example. This is one of the more famous Rob Liefeld drawings.
We'll share this online, readers, but it's the
He's like
famous Captain America
6
profile.
feet wide. What the fuck is
Captain
that?
America and his chest and like his waist.
That's not show.
Like, look at where his legs are in relation to where his head is.
Does he have multiple sclerosis? Like, this is not a shape of body that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what's going on behind that fucking shield,
and, like,
but it ain't
this
right.
guy drew comics for a long time.
I think he still does.
Well, that's...
Hopefully people aren't paying him much, because he hasn't earned it.
It's terrible.
Here's an example of him drawing a female body. So, at first you're just like, oh, you gotta scroll down to get the full impact of it.
I feel like Full Impact would have been the name of a comic he would have drawn
too. What the fuck? What? This doesn't make sense! Has he ever seen a person?
No.
Any people? Her fucking leg...
He has only seen snakes.
Her leg... Yes, she does look like a snake! Her leg is like 3 times thicker than her ass, and about 8 times thicker than her waist, and her tits... I mean, that's where 45% of her body weight is at. What in the fuck?
I mean, you can imagine, like...
Oh, this is a fucking whole...
12-year-old boys.
What the fuck? No, if you can masturbate to this, you have also never seen a person.
12-year-old boys will masturbate
Look at
to
this.
literally
This makes
anything.
no sense either. This woman is made of rubber. Can you just share this whole link? Because this is fucking awful.
The name of it was the 40 Worst Rob Liefeld Drawings.
From progressiveboink.com.
Whatever that is.
I don't know. It sounds like
I like my boink
some kind of weird sex.
All right.
Well, that's the Juggernaut bitch. He's not supposed to look normal.
But yeah, so bad haircut.